Hey everybody! So, a big thing happened. We finally got the release date of Final Fantasy 15, and so I am joined here with my good friend Shay, who has done a bunch of these things with me. We are both away from good equipment, and I just want to record some raw reactions to this press conference. A little after the fact, not as fast as some people probably put it up, but still I wanted to record because we are like we're two huge fans of this game. We've been waiting a long time. So Shay, let's get to it.
I literally forgot. It's been 10 friggin' years we've been waiting for 15.
After this event, I realized it is my 10th year for graduation, and it coincides with this game releasing. I'm like, holy crap, it's been that long since I've been waiting. I have been 10 years out of high school. It is insane. So to start, this game was originally premiered as Final Fantasy Versus 13, and it was relabeled as 15 in like 2013 or 2014. It's been like on again, off again for so long, and now it seems like we're actually going to get it. So let's go to the very beginning. I thought this was a piece of shit in the very beginning of the show because, first of all, they have the father of Final Fantasy come on stage, Hironobu Sakaguchi, and he is just like, I have nothing to do with this game, but they tell me it's gonna be good. And everyone's like, yeah! And then they show a trailer, right? Is it trailer first and then Sakaguchi, or is it Sakaguchi then trailer?
Sakaguchi then trailer.
Okay, right. So he was there, and he looked so out of place and so awkward. Then they showed the trailer, and it was a new trailer, and it looked awesome. And then they had Greg and Tim come out. They both used to work for IGN, and now they have their own company, for those that don't know. So, what do you think about their hosting skills in general, just overall?
Well, you can tell that they do a lot of podcasts. I guess they have really good back and forth.
Yeah, they've been together for a very long time with some other people too. So
one clearly enjoys Final Fantasy more than the other one.
Yes, very much so. Which is what they said. They're like the two sides of the coin, just like one fan and one not so much fan. So they're like, we have 14 things to unveil to you, and then they're like, here, there is Yoko Shimomura, she's the audience, so take a bow. And, oh, Amano's here, how about you take a bow? So they stood up, and that was part of the reveals, and they're like, oh, look who it is, it's Nobuo Uematsu. Also has nothing to do with the game. He's very confused why he's even there. It's just like, what? And I'm just like, what the fuck are they doing?
Guys, guess what? I made all this music, but I'm not actually part of this game.
Yeah, okay, have fun. They tell me it's good, bye. And then they're like, okay, here's the logo. This is a reveal. It's a 3D art logo. It's just like, okay, that's cool. But it fucking has nothing to do with anything. And I'm like, what?
I feel like with Amano's art, it's all very broad. Every time he does a piece of art, they pretty much give him like a quick run around of the story. Interviews and stuff, he always says that he wants to cover the entire thing in one picture, which is almost impossible considering how big this game is supposed to be and how big the games normally are.
It is probably the most impressive art he's ever done for Final Fantasy. It's very encompassing, like everything that's in there. The Big Bang, Bang Theory.
So the picture might actually have a lot of foreshadowing, and you won't realize it until you played the game. With some of the weirder imagery that they were showing us.
Right. So after this, they get to the stage, right? This is when they unveil the little stage and they reveal the goddamn button.
The stupid friggin' button.
So they had that, and those were reveals counted, and they showed the button, like, should I push the button? I don't know, should I push the button? I'm just like, wow, the balls on Square Enix to, like, do this rhetoric, and I'm just like, they have nothing to show. They have the date, that's it. We're just going to be getting, hey, look at this guy in the audience, he has nothing to do with it either. And then...
Button really didn't do anything. We pretty much just got shown in the trailer, like, 3 different times.
Yeah, and like different images and stuff. They showed like the world and that stuff, and that was cool. And then they got to like, oh, let's talk about these characters. And then when they transformed into anime art, I was just like, oh, that looks like Tetsuya Tetsuya Nomura's style. And I'm just like, oh, that looks very, what his art looks like in Kingdom Hearts. So I had no idea what it could be. I just thought it was just like, oh, they're gonna bring out the guy that created this thing, which is crazy that they didn't bring out Nomura at all. I mean, he's off the project, but for him to come out I patched the torch to Tabata or something like that. So I feel like he's really in a shitter.
To not even mention him at all seems like kind of a stint.
Well, I think they're very upset with them. So I look forward to the uncovered Kingdom Hearts 3 in 7 years.
I'm very upset with them.
But, yeah, and then they're like, well, we have an anime. I'm like, first reaction was like, okay, they have this thing, it's a 5-part series, and it's going to be free, which is pretty cool, and the first episode is available now. And I'm like, that is oddly generous. Okay. And then they're like, oh, what about these 2 other characters, Luna and the King? Why do they look so much better than
they look so realistic?
Much better than the game? I'm like, yeah, they have CG art before, whatever. And then they start showing the thing, and I'm just like, that looks a lot better. They're not doing what I think they're doing, are they? And then it's like, we're making a fucking full-length feature film. I'm like,
we're making another movie.
Oh, yeah, that girl, Queen Cersei? Yeah, we fucking got her. Oh, that guy that dies all the time? Sean Bean. Oh, holy shit, it's Aaron Paul! Let's make a bunch of drug references! I could not believe it.
That part of the interview, when they were talking to him, that was a little awkward.
You could tell he didn't want to talk about it, but he's like, okay, whatever, fine, whatever. I was on Breaking Bad or whatever. I just couldn't believe, those 3 stars. I'm like, wow, that's a big get. And, that movie looks really good. But I'm just, thinking back to the last time they actually did a CG movie, not counting Advent Children. The first one, it bankrupted them.
Oh, that movie sucked. I mean, it was so exciting at the time, but then, you look back at it now, and it's like, what was the point of this movie?
So much stuff. I feel like they're gonna break the bank on this one. So I'm like, they waited 10 years. They're like, fuck it, let's just do everything. Let's not wait. So that was cool, and I was like, okay, and it's gonna come out before the game. Okay, all right, okay, and it's gonna be streaming. It seemed like they hinted that this was gonna be free. Did I misinterpret that? If they said it can stream it online, or you can download it?
No, they did say it was gonna be free, because when they brought it up, the pre-order thing later on, the guy was like, but they're giving it away free, why are they putting it on a disc?
Okay, alright, so he would have corrected them. Okay, so I figured that, that...
They talked to Florence.
Oh my god, that was way earlier, actually. So,
yeah.
I heard...
That theme song was, it gave me goosebumps. I love her voice.
I went going back all the way to the beginning, to that first trailer, and then it, does a split, and then it starts that song. I'm like, this is the gayest trailer I have ever seen. It's so... I'm like, this is bromance. I'm like, why this song? I'm like, is that Florence the Machine? Has she done a cover before? And then they bring her out and oh, this is one of the best songs ever. I decided to do a cover for Final Fantasy. And I'm just like, you brought her on to do a cover? Are you insane? Why didn't you make her do a Final Fantasy, a new song for Final Fantasy?
Right.
It seems like a waste, but
it was a beautiful song.
Yeah, it's a great version of it, but damn.
They freaking paid for her to have the orchestra, probably the.
So that took us 2 years to make that one song.
Well, it sounded really good, and she's got a beautiful voice.
And they didn't mention the anime, how long it took, but they said they've been working on that movie for 3 years and it hasn't been leaked once. So that's impressive. But also, you've been working on that movie? Who's been working on the movie? Is that why it's been taking so long?
Enix Team 5B.
What else? Yeah, they had the mini games. You can play mini games in the game, and they're gonna make it on the phone, so that's whatever. And then I believe the next thing they talked about was a demo, which it got leaked before that there was gonna be a new demo, but not so much in detail.
But yeah, that other demo sounds pretty freaking cool, and by being it, you get that DLC.
Yeah, Carbuncle. Man, all I wanted. This game made me want Kingdom Hearts 3 even more because Little Noctis reminded me of Little Sora with that big hammer. It just looked really cute. Yeah. There's so much whimsy, even though
it kind of reminded me of Alice in Wonderland.
So that's exciting. So I got that, so I'll definitely be checking it out and, reporting back. But I'm very excited to check that out. And
I think the mini game looks like it's going to be pretty fun. I hope they somehow don't just have it as, a mini game that is coincidentally linked to this game, but that it has something to actually contribute to the game.
yeah, so everything they showed just makes me very hyped. The game looks great in all the trailers they showed. And then they did this last stunt where they're like, should I push the button? No, you should push the button. Okay, I'll push the button. They push it, and nothing happens, and oh, this button's broken. And then Tabata reaches into his pocket, the director, and he's like, it's invisible. I'm like, are you fucking... You couldn't even make, a Final Fantasy 15 button, and then he, pushes it, and there's this whole, whatever slot roll thing, and it's just oh, it's November. Wait, no, it's actually September 30th this year. Everything that you saw is going to be free, and it's going to be coming out before the game. Also, when they said the release date and they showed the collector's editions and stuff, or before that, I thought we now know how much that collector's edition is. The big one with Noctis in it. Do you want to guess how much that is?
I'm going to 400.
That you overshot it. I'm a little disappointed. It's $270, which is insane.
Well, just with literally everything that they showed in there, like the soundtrack, the anime. Are you getting the movie in there?
Yes, every single thing that they showed except for the mobile game.
Well, I guess 300 was a little asking for 300 would be a little over, but
I calculated that out without tax. There's supposed to be 30,000 copies. Without tax, that's $8 million. So all these things.
16, right?
I just don't understand how they can release all this stuff for free. How are they going to make money? First of all, this game cannot possibly, in the 10 years it's been in development, make back the money, no matter how much of a hit it is.
Maybe that's why they're deciding to just say screw it and give all this free stuff out.
But I feel this. Here's the thing: if the movie and the anime are not good or middling, this might be the adverse effect to what they want, which is to build hype for the game.
It might be killing the Final Fantasy franchise.
Yeah. So typically, I thought about it like this: Final Fantasy VII. Well, technically 10. Let's talk about the Final Fantasy compilation, which came out very later for the 10th anniversary of Final Fantasy VII, all the games, stuff like that. This is years down the road. For Final Fantasy 13, they didn't make their money off right away, so they decided to do a couple sequels to make back the money, as well as use the same engine. This one, they're putting it all in the bank already. It's just alright, this has been developed for 10 years. They're probably going to make sequels to this one to try and make back some more money. But fuck it, let's just do the expanded universe before the thing even comes out. It is crazy. I feel like I do applaud them for giving away all this stuff and being very generous and knowing that the fans deserve better. But I'm also worried that they're maybe banking too much and this actually might ruin him. I mean, to get all those stars and that CG quality, that has to be a lot of money by itself for just that movie. The anime, you can get some pretty good quality productions for, fairly cheap. And it looks like the first episode is only 13 minutes. So it's not huge full-length things, but still. Do you think this is going to hit the release?
I don't know.
They've never, ever set a date before this. They've never set a date. I feel like to make this big event, if they miss this release date, that is going to put...
That will break them.
That is going to put the final nail in the coffin. Even if they're we decided to do more with the game, something wasn't running well, whatever. If they make this big hoopla and all this extra stuff...
Exactly.
And plus, if that stuff isn't good, and then they delay it, it's just going to... This is one of the greatest video game stories of all time. I cannot wait to make a huge feature on this. So, any final thoughts then?
15 looks pretty, and if the world is truly expansive, I think that makes me anxious to play it. I'm more nervous than anything, because when you walk into an Elder Scrolls game and the world's going to be just friggin' massive.
I just got flashes of Xenoblade Chronicles. That is the biggest RPG that I've played in a very long time.
Oh yes, there's so much map to cover, and it feels like you're literally taking that journey yourself.
But in this game, you get bros and Choco Bros.
In Choco Bros, it's a raging bromance across the board, and you get Choco Bros that can drift.
I did like how this was a live thing. You got to have the reaction from the audience. That was kind of neat.
That was nice, yeah, for ambiance.
Yeah, it was a fun event, and I look forward to whenever all this stuff comes out. And be sure to...
Definitely.
Shay and I will definitely be talking about this more, as well as some other of our compatriots. But yeah, I guess, any last very final thoughts?
I guess I better start doing my homework on this.
Righto. And you gotta get a PS4 or Xbox One.
I'm definitely going PS4 if I go one of those two routes.
Good choice, good choice. Alright, well that is us, and we'll see you next time.
Boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, subscribe, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack.